Moving on to walkers, cyclists and horse riders. In total, the Lower Thames Crossing would create almost 3 kilometres of new or improved pathways for every 1 kilometre of new road. That's 60 kilometres in total, and 20 kilometres of that are in Kent. This would encourage active travel and promote health and well-being across the region. New bridges and paths would connect to upgraded and extended routes to give the local community and visitors easier ways and safer ways of travelling between the area's parks and woodlands, heritage sites and employment centres. We are proposing some changes to these pathways in this consultation, and I'll run you through those in a moment. Some of the proposals that have been presented in earlier consultations include 3 green bridges over the Lower Thames Crossing and A2 to create safe routes for pedestrians, cyclists, horse riders and wildlife. This includes an 84-metre wide bridge, one of the widest green bridges in Europe. New and extended foot and cycle paths connecting residential areas of Gravesend, Rochester and communities south of the A2 to the parks and woodlands between them. A new cycle route south of the A2 running through Jeskins Community Woodland from Park Pale in the east to Hares Bridge in the west. A network of bridleways giving horse riders an uninterrupted route through woodlands such as Shaun Woods Country Park and Jeskins Community Woodland. And the creation of the new Chalk Park, a landscape park that will offer views over the Thames estuary and be crossed with new footpaths that link it to the surrounding area. Now I'll run you through some of the changes that we've proposed since last consulting you. The map here shows the redesignation of Hever Court pedestrian cycle track north of the A2 junction with the Lower Thames Crossing to a bridleway. This is shown as number 2. This change is proposed following consultation feedback from the British Horse Society about improving connections for horse riders in the area. This would improve local connections for horse riders from the existing bridleway along the National Cycle Route 177 that connects Rochester and Gravesend to footpath NG17 that runs along the edge of Riverview Park and has also been upgraded to bridleway. This will continue to provide better links with existing bridleways and newly created routes to Chalk Park for horse riders, pedestrians and cyclists. NS 169 is a footpath that runs from Michael Gardens in Riverview Park to the east of Gravesend towards Shaun. You can see it here marked as number 3 on the map. We had proposed to change this to a bridleway, but as the result of feedback regarding the lack of horses and stables near the play area in Michael Gardens, meaning it's unlikely to be used by horse riders, we are now proposing to change this to a pedestrian and cycle track. The redesignation of Hever Court Road mentioned in the previous slide would provide better access for horse riders to the proposed new routes and existing ones. Further to discussions with the British Horse Society and requests for an equestrian route parallel to the A226 Gravesend Road, we are proposing that the northern section of footpath NG8, which runs from Thong Lane to the vicinity of Chalk Church, shown here as number 6 on the map, would be redesignated for walkers, cyclists and horse riders. This links up to Lower Higham Road via Church Lane and would cross the A226 Gravesend Road. This north-south link to Church Lane would improve access to the existing east-west route along Lower Higham Road. There will be changes in the traffic flows as a result of building and operating the Lower Thames Crossing. This would result in changes to the emissions, which may have an impact on the environment. While this impact has been assessed and presented in previous consultations, since our last consultation, we have revised our assessment methodology in light of the latest scientific opinion and after discussions with Natural England. These updated assessments consider the impact of ammonia, which is emitted from exhausts of petrol and diesel cars with catalytic converters, as well as nitrogen oxides or NOx. We are assessing the nitrogen emitted from vehicle exhausts as after it enters the atmosphere, it falls on habitats, which is a process known as nitrogen deposition. This can affect the way plants grow, as nitrogen can act as a fertilizer, which can either be good or bad for the plants depending on the extent of deposition. On the consultation website and in the consultation documents, we provide more information on these updated assessments, as well as set out our proposals for mitigating and compensating for the predicted impacts. Our proposals for compensating this impact includes approximately 250 hectares of new wildlife-rich habitats along the route of the proposed crossing, near the areas which are likely to be affected by nitrogen. I will now explain where we are proposing to create these habitats in Kent. The proposed compensation land in the M2 corridor and Bluebell Hill area is made up of 4 parcels of privately owned farmland totaling approximately 104 hectares, and it would form one large area for habitat creation. This area is shown on the map as shaded in light green and outlined in red. They have been identified due to their proximity to several affected designated habitats, as well as other designated sites that are not impacted by Lower Thames Crossing. The number of these sites bordering the area, such as Briff and Westfield Woods, provides an opportunity to enhance ecological links, including to the North Downs Woodlands Special Area of Conservation. We would create mosaic habitats dominated by woodland, but designed to enhance existing habitats. The compensation area is located within the Kent Downs area of outstanding natural beauty. This provides an opportunity to compensate for the effects of nitrogen deposition and provide wider ecological and biodiversity benefits for habitats and landscape along the A2-M2 corridor. The compensation area of Gravesham/Shorn Woods is made up of 4 parcels of privately owned land with an approximate area of 55 hectares. Once again, this area is shown in light green here with a red outline. This land has been identified due to their location in relation to affected habitats and their suitability to improve connectivity between existing habitats. They also form part of a wider approach to mitigation and compensation, with other areas to be planted as mitigation, for example, for the loss of ancient woodland. Creating new habitats here would reconnect existing woodlands across the Shorn Woods area, which has been subject to severance and isolation in the past. So what comes next? Before we submit our application for a development consent order, we will update our traffic and air quality modelling, and once this is complete, we will then refine the assessments on the impact of nitrogen. We'll then develop and refine the proposals for compensation measures further. This will be informed by the updated assessments, the responses to this consultation, and ongoing engagement with stakeholders and landowners. If needed, we'll develop a habitat management fund to complement the new habitat creation. This includes further measures to address specific impacts that may not be fully compensated through the new habitat creation. Utilities such as cables, telephone, electricity, sewer, water or gas lines need to be diverted or relocated in order to build and operate the Lower Thames Crossing. Since the previous consultation, we've continued to work with utility companies and affected parties to develop the proposals for utility works. These changes seek to ensure the road and utility networks can be constructed and operated in a way that is sensitive to local communities and the environment. We are proposing an extension of the order limits, which is the area we need to build and operate the Lower Thames Crossing, to include the road and footpath of a section of Roman Road and Pepper Hill, shown here as number 4 on the map. This extension will provide enough room for the electricity cables needed to service the works at the southern tunnel entrance. It would also mean that we can keep the existing vegetation in this area that currently screens the A2 corridor from the cycle route and limits any new visual impacts. As mentioned earlier, the order limits is the area we need to build and operate the Lower Thames Crossing. Following our updated proposals, we have refined the order limits across the whole route of the project, and this has increased from 22.2 kilometres squared to 24.35 kilometres squared. There is no change to the number of properties in the order limits. You can find more details in our consultation documents, map books, and the interactive map. That is the end of the proposed changes in Kent. If you are interested, there are another group of changes proposed for Thurrock, Essex and Havering. These include changes to the design of Tilbury Fields, which is a new public park on the north bank of the Thames, to make space for the planned Thames Freeport. Replacing an existing slip road with a new link from the Orsett roundabout to the A1089 to reduce traffic impacts on some local roads. A new footbridge over the A127 and further improvements for walkers, cyclists and horse riders, and further improvements to our landscaping proposals, utility works, to enable the project to be built, the order limits and more environmental compensation and mitigation. If you would like to find out more information about what we have covered today, you can visit our consultation website. We are also holding public information events at a location near you, and I'll have details of those shortly. You can fill in the form on our website or call us on 0300 123 5000 to book a call back from a member of the project team and to discuss any questions. You can also email us at info@lowerthamescrossing.co.uk. We are holding 4 public information events in Kent where you can come along and talk to a member of the project team about our proposals. These are at Cascades Leisure Centre on the Friday the 20th of May, the Village Hotel in Maidstone on Monday the 23rd of May, Bridgewood Manor Hotel on Thursday the 9th of June, and Shorn Village Hall on Friday the 10th of June. You can also visit the consultation website for a full list of events. So finally, you can let us know your views on our proposed changes by filling in a survey on our consultation website, sending your response form or comments to Freepost LTC consultation, booking a call back from a member of the project team, or emailing your comments to ltcconsultation@traverse.limited. And that brings us to the end of the film. If you need any more information, please do not hesitate to get in touch. And as a reminder, the consultation closes on the 20th of June. Thank you very much for your time.